So Joe, what made you want to invent a brand new towing hitch in the first place?
Well, I did a lot of motor racing, and I towed my race cars around Australia behind my motorhome, and we did some pretty long trips. Been to Perth and back a couple of times, and Tasmania, all around the country, all around Australia. And what I noticed was on the really long trips I had a lot of trouble with wear on the balls and also wear on the couplings. In fact, I did one trip to Perth with a brand new coupling and ball, and by the time I got back I tried to have a look and see how much wear had been on the coupling. So I lifted it up and there was a good probably 20mm clearance on the ball where I lifted the coupling up, and I thought to myself, well, if this thing comes off and goes across the road and kills some poor people, then I could be in a lot of trouble. And I thought to myself, well, maybe I should try and find out and see if I could develop something that's got a proper bearing in it. And I come across the idea of using a universal, and we settled on a, for our smaller models, one out of a Land Cruiser. And that's proved to be great because we've had no problem with the universal in operation at all. And we use one out of a 10-ton truck in our big 6-tonner hitch. So you can see by the size of it just how strong it is. And even the one out of the Land Cruiser is bigger than a lot of the ones they use in 1,000 horsepower drag cars. So it's got the strength in it, and over the almost 8 years that we've had the automatic on the market, and 10 years we've had the drop-on the market, as I said, we've had no problem at all with them, and they've just been great.
Fantastic, mate. But I guess the way that you've engineered the product, the actual feeling when you're driving is a lot different to just with the regular ball coupling, isn't it?
Well, with a ball coupling you get a lot of shunting, and you get a lot of up and down movement on the ball. In fact, when you come to a set of lights, you'll feel the caravan move forward and clang on the ball, and as you take off again you can feel the caravan move backwards on the ball, and here again clang again. As you're driving along, the van tends to wander across on the ball and up and down on the ball. With the McHitch, either the drop-on or the automatic, there's absolutely no play in the system, so that what you get in the towing experience is super smooth.
I've got to say that he's not fibbing. It is such a smooth experience that at times you can just about forget that you're towing something, because you're not getting that constant reminder coming for every time you accelerate and decelerate. You're not getting any of that movement, and mate, it is just super smooth. And I guess the other thing that I personally love about it, Joe, is just that hookup procedure. Mate, it is the simplest hitch that I've ever used, and I think I've used pretty much everyone on the market. Just to be able to, back straight in and watch it on your camera. It lets you know with the little gate there that she's already hooked up. Particularly with that, with your little yellow magnetic device. I don't know what it's called, but just to make it a little bit easier.
Yes, the little yellow marker, we put it on the top of the universal here. It's got a little magnet on it, so it just sits there. It simply hold the marker between the two bolts on your receiver, on your monitor, and it goes in first time every time. I think it's just super simple.
And look, we've got a few different sizes here. What sort of ratings do you have in your range?
Well, we go all the way from 2-ton up to 6-ton. This is our original model. This is what we call the drop-on. It drops onto a tapered toe pin. Then when we had it, the first couple of years that we had it in operation, a lot of people told us that drop-on couplings are a little bit difficult sometimes to hitch up. particularly with a very heavy van. Then we decided, well, hold on, what we can do, we can put this tapered receiver on the car, there it is there, and then we could put the tapered pin on the coupling. So we simply changed it around so that the tapered pin is now on the coupling on the caravan, and the receiver with the tapered hole in it is now on the car. So it was quite simple really in the end.
And I guess in terms of off-road performance, you've really got a full articulation going on here, isn't it? There's really no way that it's going to be restricted any movement when you're off-road.
Well, there's actually unlimited articulation because it's got well over 90 degrees in every direction. That's up and down and sideways. And with the rear body, you've got your full 360 degrees rotation there. So if the trailer or caravan happens to turn over, then it doesn't pull the tow vehicle over with it. That can turn 360 degrees. The caravan usually lands on its side in that situation, but doesn't pull the tow vehicle over. A lot of other couplings that don't have that 360 movement on the back, and particularly ball couplings, they don't have that. They've got a very limited articulation. There's been cases of caravans going onto their side, pulling the tow vehicle over too, with disastrous results.
What about the servicing side of things, mate? Is it a set and forget operation, or are you actually, is there anything you need to do to grease things? Or
yeah, with servicing, you've got the universal here, which is fully sealed. It's got the latest generation of oil seals, grease seals on it. They're internal, they're not the old external balloon type. It only needs greasing every 12 months. We say only use a couple of shots of grease because of the very efficient grease seals. And as far as everything else is concerned, the rear coupling body here is sealed for life. It's got self-lubricated polyurethane earth-moving grade bushes. We've had no problem with those wearing out. And as far as the front section is concerned, where you've got your tapered pin into the receiver, we recommend people use a dry lubricant, and you can buy those anywhere. CRC Dry Glide is one that comes to mind. You must use a dry lubricant, because if you use grease or oil or any other spray-on lubricant that stays wet, it will attract all the dirt and dust and sand and just actually wear it out rather than lubricate it.
Got it. And in terms of installation, mate, pretty simple?
Well, it is very simple. On a normal setup where you're towing on a normal tow ton, it usually takes you about 20 minutes. It's a matter of just taking the old coupling off, 4 bolts, releasing the handbrake mechanism, dropping the new one on, tightening the nuts and bolts up. We recommend people buy a set of the correct bolts when they buy the coupling. And on the car side of it, it's just a simple matter of taking the ball out, dropping the receiver on and doing it up as you would a normal ball.
Rightio. Well, it sounds easy enough, mate. How about we give it a crack on the Ranger?
Great.